It's pretty remarkable that President Trump is dusting off Depression-era programs to pay off farmers who are getting hit by his own trade war. Remarkable times in U.S. politics that you see a Republican president putting these tariffs on and then handing out aid. And now you've got Republicans on Capitol Hill, particularly in the Senate, who are livid about the whole thing.
So just give us a preview in terms because you talk to so many people behind the scenes in Washington. What do you think is really going to happen today?
Well, nobody really knows. I've talked to a couple of people in the White House who say if Juncker comes with serious concessions, this plurilateral deal, multi-nation deal to lower all auto tariffs, if he's got a lot to say, that 15 minutes with President Trump could go longer. If he doesn't, if he's not willing to give what President Trump wants, then it'll be real short. You'll see Trump tweets afterwards criticizing him, and then maybe the multilateral talks do something. But it's all up to what Juncker brings to the table and how Trump reacts to it. But it could be that nothing comes out of it.
There's so many different reports. I don't even know what to think. I mean, Larry Kudlow was quoted as saying that he expects Juncker to bring a significant trade deal to the White House today. I'm not sure if I should believe that or not, or if there's some grain of truth in it.
Yes.
And then you've got the EC commissioner saying, you know, we're already getting together a list of retaliatory tariffs anyway.
Right. Well, I know that Larry is very hopeful that Juncker will come through with something. He had initially talked about, 2 to 3 years of Europe dropping all tariffs on U.S. cars. Part of the problem that Juncker has and that the EU has is they're never quite sure what's good enough for Trump. He's kind of all over the map in what he wants from them. This idea that there's going to be a complete eradication of all tariffs between the U.S. and the EU. The EU won't agree to that. The U.S. won't agree to that. I mean, we have 25% tariffs on their trucks coming into the United States. We don't talk about that a lot, but there are lots of tariffs that happen. Could they get to some temporary deal between the U.S. and the EU that lowers automotive tariffs across the board? They could. Nobody in the White House, other than Trump and Peter Navarro, want these auto tariffs to go in. The U.S. auto industry doesn't want it. The market obviously doesn't want it. So I think there's a huge desire in the administration to avoid this. But the big guy in the big chair is the one who matters.
And you'd say the markets don't want this. I think one of the things the market might fear most is this idea that the president thinks that just the aggressive posture itself is a winner for him.
Right.
And he'd just like to maintain this. Just stay on offense the whole time and don't really engage in a true process to find some kind of a middle ground.
Right, yeah. I mean, that's his general approach to this, is be tough all the time. I think eventually he does want to see some results from it. Ultimately with China, with the EU, you can be tough for a long time, but eventually you have real world economic impact. That hurts his people, that hurts farmers, that hurts manufacturers. So he needs to make deals eventually and not be handing out bailout packages.
Got to ask you about a different type of business deal, Washington related. We haven't really talked about it this morning.
Yeah.
Michael Cohen.
Yeah.
Michael Cohen.
Let's talk tapes.
Michael Cohen and Trump on tape, potentially making a deal in cash. Do you pay in cash? Are you paying with a check?
Right.
What did the tape really say?
Yes.
This was revealed on CNN last night.
Yeah, we could parse that for a long time.
But what is going on here, and why is this spilling out into public view the way it has?
Well, there's many interpretations of why it's spilling out. It's spilling out because Landy Davis, Michael Cohen's attorney, gave the tape to CNN. They're trying to make the best case that Michael Cohen didn't do anything wrong. Some will argue that Michael Cohen is trying to get...
Why do they need to be doing that in public?
Well, partially, I think they want Trump to give him, immunity, to give him a pardon eventually, and sort of indicate to Trump, hey, we got a lot more of these tapes, and you probably don't want them becoming public. So let's talk let's talk about.
So you think this is about some kind of pardon deal?
It's possible, but ultimately, I mean, the big question is, does this matter politically or legally for President Trump? Politically, I don't think so. Nothing on this front matters. People know he's had affairs and paid to hush them up. Republicans don't care. They're not going to move on this. There is some legal liability in terms of campaign finance violations, but that's where you get into the parsing of cash first check, because if they're trying to cover it up, maybe you have a campaign finance violation. So all of that is in play, but politically, at this point, it just doesn't matter for Trump.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.